All eyes are on Easter Road as Aberdeen, after the most tumultuous of weeks, travel to Edinburgh, knowing this game could be last chance saloon for manager Jim Goodwin. Kick-off at Easter Road is at 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's very quiet in Edinburgh at the moment. Thanks to Hibs TV for providing me with these pictures. But come 3 o'clock, the away end will be full of Aberdeen fans doing their very best to get behind the team today and drive them forward and get us back to winning ways. There are a handful of fixtures in the Premiership today. Rangers host St Johnstone, Ross County take on Kilmarnock, and St Mirren are at home against Motherwell. So here is why today is also so important in terms of the league table. A Hibs win today, with so many permutations with that, will take them above Aberdeen. An Aberdeen win will put us back in touch, get us up to fourth, depending what happens with Livingston, and we can then start going again. So much rides on today. Good morning, how you doing? A very warm welcome to the preview show here on Alibeg TV. My God, what a week. It's been like nothing I've ever seen before. So, just before I get into it, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping just to get started. I just want to give a quick shout out to Alan Nichol, Ewan Grant, and Rafe65, who have this past week joined Alibeg ABTV as members. What that basically means, if you're unaware of it, it just means that these guys are now helping me take this channel forward. So YouTube set up this membership scheme to basically help creators, is what they like to call it, build the channel. And by paying what is a very small monthly fee, it means what I can do here is upgrade equipment. I've got plans to make the studio bigger and give it more depth. Get out, make more features, do more interviews, and just continually build the channel. And by you guys doing that, it helps me massively. So guys, thank you so much. Okay, so I have to be honest, because you know that I only try and deal with positivity. So I am now done with being wound up, angry, frustrated, and annoyed. I'm done with it. So now, and this is where it's been really interesting the past couple of days, by going online and reading a lot of comments now, there's been a shift where people are almost at the stage now where it's almost like a siege mentality. It's like, right, now we will never get over what's happened this past week. Never. It's going to be a stain on our club for as long as we will know. But it's so fascinating to see now where people are saying, look, now we have to get right behind the team. We have no choice. And I know today at Easter Road, that's exactly what the fans will do. And those that are not going to Easter Road, who will be supporting the club from afar, they're going to do exactly the same. And it's been really humbling to read and to watch and to see how everyone is now sort of coming together. Because of the enormity of today's game for the manager. Now, rightfully or wrongfully, whether he should have been sacked or whether he shouldn't, at the end of the day, I think now we have done everything that we can. We're now saying we will get behind the team. This is where we are. And now it's up to Jim to basically give what will be his most inspiring and important pre-match speech that he will probably ever give until we get to Wednesday. So Jim has his part to play today, but also the players. The players have professional pride to play for today. And if these statements are true, and if the players are rightfully behind the manager, then today should be a formality. and we are all waiting with bated breath to see what sort of performance they will give today. So, yeah, let's. That's where I'm at. I'm just trying to think of the positivity, take it forward, and just hope for the very best today. Tell me where you are. Tell me where your head is at the moment, and get in touch. Usual ways on YouTube. Leave your comments and I'll do my very best to read them out as we go along today. So first and foremost, let's try and predict what we think, or what I think potentially could be the team news today. And I've been a little bit controversial here. So I've got a feeling Duke will miss out today. I think he looked really jaded on Monday night, and I just think maybe a little rest today, where maybe Patrick Mislovic could come in and play maybe just behind Bojan. Now, I'm not suggesting this could be the formation. He might play two up top, but I'm wondering if that's what he'll do. I think Johnny will come in today as well, because Johnny, for me, was the only bright spark from Monday night's game. He got the ball, he got us forward, he got early balls into the box, and that's exactly what we need today. I think Matty Kennedy has been a little bit off the boil recently. And so what could happen is that, again, Matty could start and Johnny could come on as an impact player. But I think today we need our most experienced and senior players on the park. I think Leighton will start, and I absolutely believe that Graham Shinney will start today after the manager boldly admitted in his press conference that he got it wrong and that he made a mistake by not playing Graham on Monday night. The back four takes care of itself. So the manager gave his press conference yesterday. He came out, he faced the music, he faced the press, and he was asked about the statement. And this is what he had to say.
Well, listen, I think the statement, can be interpreted however people want to interpret it. At the end of the day, the run of results that we have been on has not been good enough for a club of this size. And, it's game by game now for me. It's as simple as that, and my focus is fully on the Hibs game, motivating the players, making sure that they know what their jobs and what their responsibilities are, and making sure that we show the necessary passion and commitment on the day that is required. At the end of the day, I think the easy thing for the board of directors to do after Monday night would have been to part company with me. The easy thing for me to do would have been probably to walk away, but I've never shirked a challenge in my life. As I said, I've got a lot of making up to do with a lot of people to go and prove to everyone out there that I am the right man to manage Aberdeen and to take them back to where this club belong. Talk is cheap. It's about actions now, and that needs to start tomorrow. I think I owe the board a lot for sticking with me and showing the courage at the time when the simple decision would have been to sack me. So, I thank them and I want to repay their faith.
So that was Jim talking yesterday. You can see his full interview on Red TV. And I'm going to be discussing that press conference with Richard Wilkinson from Aberdeen Football Club, the Beach End Boys Goodwin Vibrations Facebook page. And we also discussed the fallout from last week and how people reacted to it on his page as well. It's quite an interesting chat that Richard and I have. So that's all to come. Thank you so much for jumping on this morning. Let's get through some of your comments before we get to Richard. Jason Campbell has come on and said 2-0 to Aberdeen today. Ewan Grant, hi Ewan, I hope you saw the message at the top of the show. A tense and cagey affair to come that hopefully ends 1-0 to the Dons. It can't be bothered, says, draw, then another week of nonsense about Goodwin instead of concentrating on the transfer window and getting the defenders, etc. required. I agree. Laurel 101, just play the right players in the right positions and please play Shinney from the start. A lot of people are asking if Anthony Stewart is out for this one. So I don't think he is. I think, first and foremost, the manager would have mentioned that in his press conference yesterday when he was asked about team news and he didn't say anything. And I've had a look on the SFA website today to see if players are suspended and all that, and I can't see anything. So it suggests to me that he is not suspended for today's game. Good morning to Mark Robertson. Good morning to Scott W. Good morning to Laurel 101. Good morning to Ali Lowe. The Scottish Wildman has said, fit like everybody. Here we go again. Johnny Elwick has come on and said good morning. Hi, Johnny. Grant Stewart has said, just seen this. Watford defender Matty Pollock agrees deal to join Aberdeen. Okay, I'll take a look for that when I put the interview up with Richard. Thanks for letting us know, Grant. Ewan has said, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Scott W has said, I can't see that dramatic an improvement today. We looked terrified the other night of losing. With the announcement made, we're still going to look terrified today. Scott is worried we're going to lose 2 or 3-1 today. The Mad Ferret has said, good morning, Reds. Good morning. Paul Donaldson. Hi, Paul. I'm kind of relieved not to be going to Easter Road today. I've got a, hopefully, stress-free afternoon of non-league football and we'll watch on BBC Alba when I get home. Fraser Gardner said, come on, you Reds. Hi, Fraser. Thanks, Ewan. Top man. I'll get in touch with you very soon. James McGaskill. Good morning, James. What a bizarre build-up to the game today for the players. If they come out with the right attitude, then they can get a win today. Fraser Gunner said, happy to support you, Ali. You're delivering great content. Thank you, Fraser. Really appreciate it. Stuart McCallum has said, we need to back the boss and the team, as I have said in forums. I'm unhappy with what's happened. Let's get behind them 100%. Yeah, that's what I was saying at the top of the show. It's interesting now where over the past sort of 24 hours, people's mindsets have sort of started to change. And it's like, now let's get behind the team. We've had all this. We've had to sort of deal with it. Now let's get back to matters on the pitch and let's really get behind the team and help them get over the line today. Jason Campbell has said, will Jim get sacked if we lose this? Well, this is the interesting thing. And this is where I personally had an issue with the statement and the wording of the statement. Richard Gordon wrote a fantastic column, as he always does, for the Aberdeen journals. And he's asking the same thing. So the problem with the statement, it was left open to interpretation. So what happens today if, God forbid, we do lose the game? It would suggest, by the wording of that statement, that he will get sacked. Which then takes us to the next game, because Jim said, as you heard, it's a game-by-game mentality for him. So, yeah, what will happen come 5 o'clock tonight if we lose? Mark Robertson has said, I'm up at 4 a.m. watching, getting ready for today. Scott W. has said he thinks that Jim is being kept on until a new boss is found. You see, again, that's so many of you were talking about that. Is this just a holding statement to basically give the club time to find a new manager? Paul Donalds is saying, hope the fans get behind the team today. The players will really need that more than ever. Malcolm Parker's come on. Hi, Mal. The way I look at it now, wasn't happy with how things went and the decisions that were made, but now all we can do is get behind the boys and help them crawl out of this hole that they have dug. Yep. Barry Watson, good morning. I think I fear for today. I have been wrong in the past and I hope I am today. Jim is still our manager. We love Aberdeen Football Club, so let's get behind the Team Red Army. 100% Barry. The Scottish Wildman. Today will be like walking on a tightrope with a noose round Jim's neck. Yeah. Again, I mentioned it during the week that I think to put a noose around his neck was not cool. Not cool at all. Barry Watson has said, we'll always get behind the team, but it's about time that they stepped up. Yep. Okay, so keep the comments coming in. Thanks for watching. It's great to see so many of you on Saturday morning. Hope you're enjoying your breakfast. So, Richard Wilkinson, admin of very popular Facebook page, Aberdeen Football Club, the Beach End Boys, Goodwin Vibrations. He's also the owner of Beat 106 Scotland. So, him and I jumped on a chat yesterday to discuss the past few days and the press conference. Here's Richard. Hi, fella. Good to see you.
Hey, how are you? Do you need a hug?
I need something to tell you.
It's been a tough week for you.
Oh, it's been mental. I need a heater. We got a heater.
Yes. Apparently, somebody in your YouTube comments made some recommendations about heaters and what have you. So follow that up.
Oh God, love them. Right, Before we get into the crux of the press conference and what was said in the press conference, can I ask by beginning you about the reaction to what has happened in the past few days on your page? Is it like anything you've seen before, or was it like anything you've seen before?
I think what I've found is that everybody on the page is pretty much 99.9% united in wanting him gone, and almost, from the word salad that was put out the other day from Dave Cormack and the Football Monitoring Board, a lot of people who lost respect for him for all of that nonsense too. It's I've never seen everybody so unified in the fact that they want him gone. And I mean, it does make us wonder whether we're living in a massive echo chamber of, I'm sure, your YouTube pages, everybody's podcast has seen an increase in volume and audience and clicks, whatever, this week. Is it just because we're all angry and we've all found an echo chamber together to do that? Are there a whole load of fans who likes, politics, kind of just don't air their dirty linen in public like we all do, and going, well, it doesn't matter, we'll support the team come thick and thin, and this is very much a thing. I'm fascinated by that, whether it's just this noisy, angry, baying crowd that I think every Aberdeen fan has a right to be, given the not just the week we've had, but I mean, it has been a fairly colossal week, since the World Cup. So, I think there is anger, there is frustration. I'm fascinated, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. I'm fascinated to see how it manifests itself at the Hibs game today. But, I think we're at that point where, okay, what's done is done. What needs to happen is 3 points. And whether we get that, we're about to find out.
Okay, let's talk about the press conference. And I have to be honest. I'll be brutally honest here with you, mate. I applaud him for coming out and doing that press conference today, because he's been under some pressure this week. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't overly sympathise with him, but I do think it took courage to come out and do that press conference today, because he could have easily batted it off, but he didn't. And he answered all the questions. It's, to be honest with you, a lot of it is still the usual stuff that we hear week in, week out. But let's talk about the mentality of where his head is at after the statement came out, where he has basically said where he is at is game by game situation. So should we read into that he knows if he does not win against Hibs, he's out of a job?
I didn't get the impression that was the case per se. I mean, I think we've all read into it that I can't remember which journalist it was that asked pretty much that same question. We're going, do you think that you're, if you don't win this, that you're out of a job? I don't know if that's the case. I think it's fascinating the way that everything's manifested itself this week, where, Cormac's statement gave you the impression that this was sort of like a final warning, and based on how you and I would normally have, or everybody would have contracts based on performance, this is the final warning of going, if the performances don't improve, then you're out of a job. I don't know whether that's some sort of canny leveraging of making sure that he doesn't have to pay the full whack of Jim's contract. Who knows? I think it gives Cormac room to make a decision where at this moment in time, I have no idea. We could win tomorrow. We could massively capitulate. If it was a 0-0 draw, then that's probably not grounds for sacking. If we won 3 or 4-0, yeah, he's probably okay for another game. If it's a hard fought 2-2, whatever, he's probably okay. If we get gubbed, Hearts numbers, see you later. Don't bother getting back on the bus. Yeah. I don't feel the same kind of level of sympathy and kudos and what have you that you think. I think in there. He's just said what he's needed to say. I don't get the impression that anything's particularly changed. I don't get the sense that there's more of a defiance or, that kind of anger and motivation. We'll see. We'll see what happens at the end of the day. It's about when they get on the pitch.
Yeah.
Has anything changed?
Exactly. For me, the proof is in the pudding. The answers will come during the 90 minutes, right?
No, I mean, that's what we've got to see. And, I don't want to talk about Darnell any more than has been.
Dear God, please don't.
No. But that's the ultimate frustration with this team is we've seen some, if not nearly enough, greatness when this team is on fire. And to see it just in reverse, in the mud, not going anywhere and not playing any sort of levels of football that we know that they can do, it's heartbreaking and frustrating for everybody. So that's what we need to see. That's what we need to see, not just once every couple of games. That's what we need to see every single game. And the only thing I feel for him is the fact that he is on this almost game-by-game contract now. You would argue that maybe it was just, more humane to kind of put him out of his misery the other day. But I don't know. If that's what motivates and that's what gets results, I suspect it's not. Time will tell. It usually does.
Okay, so he said in the press conference that he made a mistake with Graham Shinnie by not playing him. So I would suggest that don't make that mistake again come 3 o'clock tomorrow at Easter Road, or come 2 o'clock when you name your team.
Oh, I mean, unquestionably, Graham Shinnie, I think, so again, we'd all been speculating, is Shinnie injured? Has Shinnie picked up a niggle? Has he picked up a knock? I think clearly that wasn't the case. And so we're all leaning back onto the speculation of, have they had their bust up, fall out, whatever. For whatever reason, he wasn't picked. He was such an obvious pick in terms of what the game needed on Monday night. And, what's done is done is done. And yeah, he needs to be on that 11, on that team sheet, absolutely, tomorrow.
This will be the most important team that he will pick. In his short tenure as Aberdeen manager, there will not be a bigger team selection headache for him than come tomorrow. Because,
but also,
Richard, he's got to get it right.
Oh, absolutely. But also, even if he does get it right tomorrow and we win, the next team sheet, the what
game by game.
Yeah, exactly. And he said that as much as well. I guess this is the problem. And, he said he made a mistake about Shinnie. Well, he's made a number of mistakes, and again, we've speculated about the Vinny situation and, to the fans, there are questions about some of these, the decisions and who's in the team, who starts and substitutions and what have you, particularly, that would change the game, where we've been, sort of the either behind or, and there's been changes where we've kind of gone, that doesn't make sense. Surely the right option, the better option would have been to go with that player or what have you. So I think everything from who he starts with to how the game evolves after 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes to go, are you going to make the right changes? Because that's the other thing, the game management part of how things play out. We might be 2 goals ahead, but if we lose 2 goals, which is, again, it's Aberdeen, of course we can, that all plays out. And as I said, at the end of the day, 90 minutes, game of 2 halves, not half. That it's got to be 3 points at the end of it. And you'd argue, I don't think anybody cares how he gets those 3 points, as long as he gets those 3 points. But all of those decisions, all of what he does tomorrow will be thoroughly scrutinised to the point that at the end of the game, he'll presumably know whether he still has a job or not.
Yeah. My God, what a 90 minutes of football to look forward to, eh?
Well, obviously, I think what happens with Porteous and Nisbet. I think one of them might be going, one of them might be staying. The Hibs certainly are in no great shakes. I thought they played okay for times against Hearts last weekend in the derby. It, two teams out of form, not playing particularly well. It's got 6-5 or 0-0 written all over it, and who knows? I think from a sort of the neutral observer, it could be a great game. It could be absolutely stinking.
Yeah. All eyes on Edinburgh tomorrow. Mate, thank you as always for jumping on. And
No worries.
yeah, let's hope for a positive reaction, and let's hope that the Football Monitoring Board get the reaction that they wanted.
Absolutely. I hope they give an A+ report at the end of it.
See you, fella.
See you later.
Bye, mate. There we go. Thanks, Richard. Okay, so what I need now is one of those breaking news stings, because I know that the software here has it, but I don't know how to do it. So I found it. Matty Pollock. Let's have a look. Here we are. So Matty Pollock, this is what the Press and Journal have written this morning, has agreed, in inverted commas, a deal to join Aberdeen on loan from Watford to the end of the season. So he's 21 years old. He's opted to join Aberdeen in favour of Sheffield Wednesday. And he's made 4 appearances for Watford this season. So make of that what you will. I think it'll probably be too late for today's game, because I don't think they can rush the paperwork through that quickly. But you never know. You just never know. So that's where we are at the moment with that. Okay, let's get back to your comments. Grant Stewart said, the week has been a shambles. We have to get behind the team, get behind the manager, get stuck in. Lack of desire, effort has been the worst bit. Stand free. Paul Donaldson said, it was good to see Jim admitting in the press conference that he knows we still need to bring in 1 or 2 defenders into the squad. Hopefully it happens before the transfer window closes. Well, it looks like we might have got 1 at least coming in. John Milner said, must win today. Come on, you Reds. He's loving the show. Thanks, John. Daniel Wilkes, Vinny seems to have become a bad player overnight. Aside from Stewart and a right back, I think we have a stronger first 11 than last year. Interesting point. Frank Brennan, a stain on the club for sure. One huge, big, enormous stain that will never be eradicated as far as the club goes, and it doesn't help the healing and moving on process with Jim still around, sadly. Talking about the Darvel loss. Let me keep going. Kaiser, good morning, Kaiser. How you doing? So he has said, our away form is so bad, it's hard to see us winning today. Jim Goodwin said in the presser that he's got a full squad available with no injuries, which must be the first in a long time. Jude has said, don't know how I'm going to react at the game today. He's not happy about the manager, but mindful that the players let us down with their poor attitude. The players have got so much to live up to today. Lanky Marlin has said, good morning to everybody. Hi, mate. Scott Farquhar has said, good morning to everybody. Safety Blitz 73 says, with Callum Roberts getting a run out on Monday, will he be considered for an appearance today too? Yeah, possibly. Could come off the bench. Mikey Bruce has suggested that there's too much pressure being put on the game today, hoping we can squeak out a win. Duncan Strachan makes a great point. 1,500 dandies heading to Easter Road, despite Jim and his merry band of clowns. They really don't deserve us. You make a very good point. Ian Kuza has said, good morning. We get a good game and a right result today. Colin Klein Music. Hi, Colin. How you doing? Good morning, folks. I'm not quite sure what to expect today, but I'm going to say we win a poor, scrappy, nervous game. Regardless, it's only a matter of time now. Yeah, I think so too. Scott Farquhar has said, the mindset may change. However, worst case scenario, it could turn toxic in the stands, but I'm hoping it will be a case of we get a good result and build on the next game, which could be make or break for Goodwin. Yep, one game by game. Just take it one game at a time. Mark Lamont has said that the club needs to be more transparent with the fans. So many whispers and rumours. Think we'll get the win today, but not sure what's going to happen in the coming weeks. Marty Meldrum has said, if the boys show heart, commitment and play well, but still don't get the result, does that count as immediate response, or is it all on the result today? Yeah, you see, again, this is the whole issue about the statement being left open to interpretation and how poor a statement it was. History time. On this day, in the club's football history, back in 1967, Aberdeen cult hero Davy Robb makes his first team debut for the Dons in a Scottish Cup tie away at Dundee. Aberdeen win the game 5-0. Rest in peace to Davy. And this day, back in 1905, a record 16,000 fans packed out Pittodrie for a Scottish Cup game against Queen's Park. It was the first time a 5-figure crowd had been registered at the stadium, and gate receipts of £346 set a new ground record. And Aberdeen win the game 2-1. Let's get back to your comments. Thank you for watching this morning. Kevin Liang, is that how you pronounce it, Kevin? Liang? My ill feelings towards Jim Goodwin started with how he treated Andrew Considine. He has done nothing positive for the club to change my mind. Can't Be Bothered has asked, I wonder if Jim even wanted Shinnie. I think Dave Cormack wanted him back in hope of quelling the building storm about recent results. Johnny Elvick makes a good point. I cannot understand why he didn't play Graham on Monday. Is Graham too big a character for Jim to handle? Interesting. Mikey Bruce has said he doesn't think that Jim is going to be able to fight his way out of this. He's far too passive on the touchline, which doesn't come across as being a true leader and being able to drive the team to a win. That's one thing that I really hope that he's learned from Monday night. If he looked at his opposite number on the other side of the ground, who is a part-time manager, who from what I understand owns a takeaway shop and does that for a living, the passion, the commitment, the drive, everything about him was absolutely spot on. And I'm really hoping Jim has learnt from that, because he needs to be more animated, I think. It doesn't have to be a shouter and a screamer. We're not looking for that. But show if things are going against the boys, show them that you're there. Because sometimes players do look to a coach, do look to a manager for inspiration, for instructions, whatever the case may be. So he needs to be more animated on the touchline. I completely agree with that. Michael Scott has said every game is do or die. Yeah, that's a good point, mate. Yeah, again, so many people are coming on and asking why he didn't play Graham on Monday night. But it was, to be fair to him, as I said with Richard, he was bold enough to come out and admit his mistake. And I actually give him kudos for that. Johnny Elvick, good point, mate. We still need to sort out the defensive team, particularly the long throw-ins, corners, back post, mess-ups as normal. 100%. We're all over the shop when it comes to set pieces. And we're absolutely awful when it comes to playing our own set pieces. God almighty. Bear with me while I keep going it. Again, a lot of people are asking about the statement, what happens today if it ends in a draw? Does the next game become do or die? Yep. Jamie Ross has said, feels like everyone is behind the team, but still want Jim out no matter the result. Okay. Right, guys, that's us. We are basically done. So we've done over half an hour. Thank you so much for watching. So if you're heading to Easter Road today, please do have a safe journey. So all we can do is wish the boys the very best of luck today, and the manager, I guess. You know, we have to get behind him. The decision has been made, and we now have to accept that decision, whether you think it's right or whether you think it's wrong. I still, you know, if you want my personal opinion, I still think it was the wrong decision. But we have to get behind him. We have to drive the boys forward today. And let's see that there is a positive reaction, the one that the Football Monitoring Board so desperately want. And yeah, let's see what comes 5 o'clock this afternoon. So I'll be back for tomorrow night with a review show. And then we will try and get a couple of new features in during the week. And I'm also now thinking, because we're playing St Mirren in midweek, and it's not being broadcast on sort of national television. I know for international broadcast it's on Red TV. I'm thinking about doing a halftime show where we can react instantly to what's happened in the first half, and I think it'd be quite interesting to get you guys on to do that at halftime. So have a fantastic Saturday. Thank you so much again for watching. Good luck to the boys, and I'll see you tomorrow night. All the best. Stand free.